Nice job avoiding pressure. There's Serena downfield. Touchdown, Jordan Serena. John Vogt, head coach of Chaparral, said that there's nobody in the state that can cover the junior one-on-one.
Week number 5, it's now in the books. And CET Sports, we have our new top 10s. Welcome to ISPN.TV. Along with Marty CEsario, I'm Brian Roth. And before we get you those new 4A and 5A top 10s, taking a look back at where we were this week. And once again, another opportunity for us to get down to Pueblo, Dutch Clark Stadium, the Bell Game, the oldest rivalry west of the Mississippi, that is Centennial versus Central, Marty, and another great atmosphere, and you were there.
It's awesome, Brian. I mean, everybody should at least witness this once. 13,000 fans, people just all enjoying this pregame pageantry. And tell you what, Byron Brown opened things off with a big bang, 84-yard touchdown run to start things off. Central looked so strong, held a lead throughout the game, even though Johnny Bela for Centennial, had 3 touchdown runs. Brown was a guy who, in the end, finished things off, so to speak, with a knockdown of a 2-point conversion pass to kind of keep the lead for the Wildcats, and then they went down the field behind Darian Hadgett, and bell rings blue for a 3rd straight year for Coach Craddock and those Cats.
Yeah, it was the 3rd straight year that we were able to go down there and televise that game on CET. It's one really you can't miss. It's going to air this week. It's going to be Wednesday, October 7th at 8 p.m. It's going to air a few more times later in the week here on CET, so check your local listings for that. All right, let's get into our 4A and 5A top 10s, and as always, let's start with Class 5A. And Mullen remains at the top. Certainly nothing new there. It's pretty clear now. It's Mullen, and it's the rest of 5A, but don't tell that to Chatfield, who moves up. Fairview, Pomona, Chaparral. So you have 6 teams at 5-0. That includes Fort Collins and the Lambkins, Marty. Finally in our top 10.
Yeah, we've been waiting and waiting, on the Lambkins, and finally they've really proved themselves. Coach Rice has a productive defense that's only averaging, giving up 9 points a game. They've beaten Legacy and Grandview, so, hey, they deserve the right to debut at number 7.
We talked to Coach Rice earlier this summer. He said, Brian, we're not going to be very good. We're going to be down a little bit. Not so fast, my friend, as Lee Corso would say. They are into our top 10 poll again at number 7. So we have Columbine there at number 5. We still believe they're one of the best teams in the state. They destroyed Arvada West, who stays in our top 10.
Yeah, the West Wildcats, they'll have a chance to prove themselves when you talk about some people coming up. They still got Pomona, Bear Creek, and Chatfield on their schedule. So Coach Coons and the gang, if you want to get back in and get a little bit higher, well, you got 3 big games coming up. I like Ponderosa's entry where they're at after their big win.
Yeah, Ponderosa is in. Their only loss this year for Randy Huff and those Mustangs, it came in a 17-10 defeat to number 2 Chatfield. They get the win over Thunder Ridge 19-9 this past week. Thunder Ridge stays in, but we put Pomona ahead of them due to the head-to-head competition there. So that's a look at Class 5A. Let's now shift gears. Go to Class 4A. Greeley West, they remain on top. They hammered Greeley Central 50-0 this week. Pine Creek, Wheat Ridge, Monarch, and Heritage all remain right there. How about Montrose? They knock off Pueblo West. They beat them 42-21.
Yeah, tell you the truth, they've beaten Golden and Glenwood Springs, Pessell and Robinson leading the squad. The Indians, this week they came across the state and beat those Cyclones in Pueblo. Montrose is someone to watch out for, seriously.
Yeah, and again, that game was on the road for Montrose. Taking a look at the rest of the top 10. Pueblo West, we're going to keep them in there. Meanwhile, boy, Longmont, they get shut down by Loveland. In fact, Jake Johnson, their quarterback, only threw for 128 yards, a pair of picks, and Lewis Palmer still undefeated. They're at 5-0. They beat Cheyenne Mountain, so we're gonna move them up in our top 10 poll.
We were wavering with their entry last week, but they were undefeated. And look, they proved us right. We were a little hesitant, but you know what? They shut out Cheyenne Mountain, the Rangers in that Foothills League. They got a title game coming up with the Liberty Lancers next, so they get another chance to prove themselves and maybe climb a little higher.
All right, now let's look at the latest 4A and 5A top 10s. And just to give you an idea of what we have coming up here this week on CET, I'm really excited about all 3 games, but boy, we got a great 5A matchup and a great 4A matchup. Coming up on Thursday night out at the NAC, we will have Pomona and Chatfield. It should be the game of the week in high school football. Corey Lopez is going to be with me on that one. And then Friday night, Marty, you and I are going to be right back out at the NAC. We're going to have a great 4A matchup as Monarch takes on Ralston Valley. Ralston sitting at 3-2. They're knocking on the door to get back in. They've had 2 losses on the season, one to Pomona, of course, in Class 5A, and then Ross Valley also lost to Fountain Fort Carson. So 2 quality losses if you want to deem that. All right, that's a look at what we have coming up in our 4A and 5A top 10s right here at CET Sports and ISPN.TV.